Welcome back, everybody. Dren608 here. We're going through Xenonauts2 Milestone 2 release. There were a couple patches, so we're up to Milestone 2.16. In the previous video, when I went up to month end, I had an air combat and I hit a whole bunch of buttons incorrectly. So I was going to revisit that air combat in this little short video, just to kind of give you some tactical considerations. Now you could do auto-resolve, but if you do that, they're going to use up all their weapons. So they'll fire all their missiles and use as much ammunition as they can and stuff like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into commence attack. Now they start you off here, and you can select your airplanes, and this is something that you probably should always do. Now, when you select the airplane, it shows you your target here. I think you can hover over these two while in combat. It shows you that he has 0 of 0 armor and he has 100 hull points. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Angel 2, I'm going to put him on down here, coming in from this side. And I'm going to take Angel 1 and I'm going to have him come down from this side. So this is going to require the probe to have to turn. So in general, when they only have one arc of fire, this is the best way to kind of go about this. The idea is to get him to turn towards one airplane. That airplane will turn and run away, drawing him along with it, while the other one closes and ends him. First thing I'm going to do, you'll notice here on the Sidewinders, there's a little 2 up here. Each one of these Sidewinder missiles, missile mounts that you get, actually has 2 Sidewinders on it. So you actually have 2 shots. They won't fire both together. It's like they'll fire one and then they'll fire another one a little bit later. But by clicking on it, we're going to keep them from firing at all to begin with. And when you hover over them, they show you their range. So you can see that they could hit that. We're not going to fire the missiles immediately so that we can try to preserve at least one airplane's missiles. Because we have to rebuild these if we use them. Okay? So we're going to come in from both sides and we're going to see what it does. So then you unpause it by hitting the space bar. And it takes you up to the first. Oh, that's a little fast. We want to go. Okay. So now we can see that he's turning towards Angel number 1. Okay? See that? See how he's turning? So what we're going to do is we're going to take Angel 1 and we're going to say go down like here. He's going to turn away from the probe. All right? And we're going to, I don't know why he's going so slow. And now on Angel 2, we're going to hit, is this it? That's Afterburners. So that we can close a little bit. And then what we're going to do is Angel 2 now is going to go ahead and fire its missiles. So I unclick it so that it's green. And he should, oh, I have to turn him off Afterburner. Now, Angel 1 is now going in the right direction. He wants to get onto Afterburners because he wants to get away from this probe before I can shoot him. So I'm going to kick him onto Afterburners to try and get him to go a little faster. Angel 2 should fire its second missile here. There we go. Now Angel 1 needs to come back at him because Angel 2 is going to take some hits. So Angel 2 took 36 health damage. Angel 2 didn't have any armor up yet, so that's why that took him a little bit. But you can see the 2 of 2, that's your Sidewinders there. And so he's 0 of 2, but the other one still has his full Sidewinder. So if another one pops up, you can get to it. All right, and then this will take us into end of month, which I think I already went into with the other one. If I remember right, the end of day 30 is the end of the month, so we'll just get there again. So you picked up the salvage. You get your interrogation done, just like we did in the other one. And I think I went for Warden armor, or did I go for magnetic weapons? I don't remember which one I did. Oh, we'll just pick one. Doesn't matter. And when we get to the end of the month, I'm checking on something. You'll notice down here that this is what I was looking for. You'll see down here that some of your and this 40,000 plus is for like next time around. So everybody gave us 40,000 more. So we'll end up with 1.5 plus I think I had 105 there or something like that. But all my things down here, if you were watching earlier, these were up. These were all at like 25. This was at 13, and this was at like 33. So it brings it down. I think it's 10%, round up or something like that. So it doesn't lower your panic by a lot, but there were a lot of people saying that because of the way the panic was rising, that you were there were very few ways to get your panic down. A couple of missions here, a couple of missions there, and panic would rise because you couldn't get bases out fast enough with airplanes to cover everything. So since they made bases a little bit cheaper and aircraft a whole lot more expensive, because between buying the aircraft and buying the weapon systems for them, what they did is they basically give you like 10% of your panic goes down. Your panic goes down in each region by 10%, provided that you haven't lost the region completely, obviously. So it's a little bit of a balancing thing. I think that changes in the settings. When you're setting up the campaign, you can actually change that to not give you reductions as much, like 5%, maybe 0. So depending on the difficulty level that you're at. So that's it. Just wanted to make sure I don't remember saying anything in my other video, so I just wanted to make sure that this got in there. But anyway, that's the proper way to do air combat, not the way I did it by hitting all the wrong buttons in the previous video. So I just wanted to kind of revisit this and give you guys all a little better shot at what's going on here. Okay? So that's the proper way to do things. There is one more mission type. It's a VIP rescue kind of mission, very similar to the extraction mission that we did earlier in the series here. I am going to probably just advance the game until I get to that mission. I'll just play the game until I get to that mission. Then I'll video that mission, and then that'll probably be this opening series here on Xenonauts 2 Milestone 2. I'm sure I'm missing something that I'm supposed to tell you about, but I think I've covered all the major points. A lot of the gameplay, they've expanded the cleaner story. They're making you have to make more decisions on your base building and on how you're going to deal with your aircraft. Aircraft now, it's far more important to not just say, oh, I don't care if you shoot it down, I'm going to replace it with something else. Because they're so expensive, you can't just like crank out 10 aircraft in 3 months, which I've seen some people do. They just build a base. They build a secondary base. They put a power generator, power generator, radar, and 2 or 3 hangars, and they just drop, 3 Foxtrots in it because you had unlimited ammunition, and they would just kind of keep things in check while you built your really fancy fighters, and then would go off and take down the really nasty things with the fancy fighters, and the Foxtrots would just handle the scouts, and 3 of them can usually handle a destroyer if they're equipped right. So, I mean, that used to be the way you did it, and you had to do it that way to keep the panic down, because you had to shoot down those UFOs, because they always were responsible for generating all the panic in the place. Now, that might still be a fairly good way to do it, but it's going to be a little more expensive in costs, because everything costs more to maintain. I think most everything is a little bit cheaper to build, but it's more costly to maintain over time. And it's another balancing act. You have to make more decisions, which in a game like this, decisions on how to win, which way you want to go about running your war, those are good. That makes it replayable. Because you can say, okay, well, I did it that way. What if I go this way the next time, and see how far you can get, and whether you can win going down a slightly different build path, where you place your bases, stuff like that. So it's definitely shaping up to be a much better game. There's still a few things that I wish that we could get away from, not the least of which was the original base layout. I don't know why they are stuck on putting your generator by the radar, by the axis, because this is like your command room. So that makes sense. The power sitting out here did not make sense to me. And then 2 hangars up here, and then like 2 living quarters and this stuff. It's like it kind of made sense, but then again, it didn't. I'd like to see it a little more randomized. That, sometimes this thing might be on this square, your access lift, and maybe the radar's over here and the power thing is here, or the storage is here and the power's over there, or, the power comes down the side. Just like a little bit of randomness into it, because it's supposed to be some old 60s bomb shelter facility that you picked up. Okay? So for me, it shouldn't always be the same. You should have a little bit of variety in it. There's been a lot of us would like to say, hey, can we, give us the option to set the initial base. I mean, we only get the same number of buildings, but let us set them up in the configuration that we think is best, kind of thing. There's been some talk of that, but I don't think we'll get to that unless it's like at the final release. Like the last milestone out, they might get to that. Right now, they're working on the gameplay, which is important, and all the mechanics that still go like that 0% grenade or whatever. That's a known problem. I know how to get by it now, and it's one of the things they're going to be fixing probably this week, because it's just annoying. It's a fairly simple fix. If you're stuck in that particular position, just hit the shift key a couple times, because it's thinking that you're trying to do some sort of a preview mode with your grenade when you're not, and it gets stuck on that, thinking that shift key is involved, and so it's giving you 0%, thinking you're trying to plot a move first or something. It's really technical. I'm not really sure exactly what it is, but yeah. Okay, I'm going to shut this down. It's only going to be about 15 minutes. There'll be one more video when I find that VIP rescue mission, so I can show you that. And then that'll probably be it for this series, for this initial series on some of the changes in Milestone. And then I may go ahead and set up a complete playthrough. I don't know if I should continue with this one, or if I should start over and go through the sort of the strategy and tactics of what I'm doing and why, because I kind of haven't really discussed any of that. That is more of a more in-depth, like, you want to play the game the best way you can and things like that. Right now, I'm just kind of like, oh yeah, you should probably do something like this. I'm not really contemplated the exact locations of things and where things need to be and what spaces you need to have available in the future to do things in, down the road, kind of thing. All that kind of stuff I really haven't really paid that close attention to, and I should, because it matters. So, yeah. If you like what you see, hit the thumbs up button. You really like to see, go and subscribe. Hit the notify bell. Be notified to upload videos and to schedule streams. And I'm Dren608. Until we meet again, stay safe and bye-bye.